the Unleash Success podcast, where we break down the secrets of success to give you real tools and strategies that get real results. And now, here's your host, Corey Corpodian.
Welcome back to Unleash Success. I'm your host, Corey Corpodian. Today we have the privilege of interviewing Mr. Zach Benson, who is the CEO and founder of Assistagram, which helps you build your influence and brand using Instagram. Zach, welcome to the show.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me.
Really appreciate you making time out of your busy schedule, because I know you're flying all over these places, doing talks at all these different conferences. And I wanted to ask you, what originally started your passion to build Assistagram?
Yeah, before all this marketing stuff, I was just traveling as a dancer, teaching dance clinics everywhere I go. And I was just like, okay, well, with no plan B, I had to figure out something. So I started up this marketing agency called Assistagram, and basically just started traveling the world teaching digital marketing instead of dancing. So that's how it became like a full-time gig, yeah.
I mean, little known fact, some people who know you, but the fact that you were on, so you think you can dance.
Yes.
How did you get into that? Have you always been into dancing?
Yeah, so I was born in Korea. I grew up in Iowa. It's like the whitest place ever. And I was like the only Asian kid, right? So then my friend was like, dude, you're the only Asian kid I know who can't dance. So he gave me a DVD, decided to watch it, decided to live up to my Asianness and learn how to break dance and be cool. And I just kept on training and practicing and working. Eventually I was traveling, eventually I was winning competitions, eventually I was on So You Think You Can Dance. And when that happened, things just kind of started to blow up for me. But it was always a passion of mine, more like a hobby. But I always wanted to figure out some kind of way to make it a full-time career, because dance was my life.
Right. It's interesting. I told you about a friend of mine who is in real estate, but also is in the breakdancing community. You actually know his company, Generation B-Boy, which is pretty cool. What's so interesting about you is you started traveling to teach breakdancing clinics all over the world. How do you transition from that to Assistagram? I mean, what clicked in your head where like, oh, this is something that I can build and be successful at?
Yeah, it was pretty much the same principle. With dancing, I just cold emailed a bunch of different dance studios all over the States, all over the world. Some said yes, some said no, but I got enough people to say yes, and that's what kind of took me around the world and made it into a full-time thing. But I just basically applied what I learned with dancing into my marketing Instagram business, which was okay, if I can figure out a way to pique their interest, get them excited about them hosting me at their hotel, I can probably get all of my flights, my hotel, my food, everything paid for. So it allows me to travel for free. And once I, blow their minds and help them with their Instagram stuff, do some posts, and really give them more exposure and leads, then they'll probably end up being clients, anyway.
So you started Assistagram by literally cold emailing people?
Yeah.
Okay.
All through cold emails. That's how I met all of my mentors, my CEO, all my employees, all through cold email and online courses and meeting these people in Facebook groups.
See, I absolutely love that, because I feel like people nowadays don't do that enough unless they're in the business of sales, and they don't understand that you get rejected a lot, but at the same time you'll get a lot of people who will say yes to you. I think that's fascinating that that's the start of your entire business. So what exactly is Assistagram and what does it do?
Yeah, think of Assistagram like your own personal virtual assistant that's just hyper-focused on your account, doing hundreds of thousands of manual actions every day, from engagement groups to researching hashtags, SEO, doing outreach for you, and basically just grinding on your account 7 days a week. So you get your own real person, human being that's managing your account, doing posting, everything for you. Plus we have some stuff on the back end that allows you to get super targeted followers with our software. So think of human and machine power equals this viral effect.
Gotcha. So it's actually real people. It's not just a bot. You hear all about these Instagram bots. They say Instagram's got 10 to 20% are fake accounts.
Yep.
But you're not using necessarily a bot. You're actually using real people with software to power.
Exactly. So we have our own softwares as well that we put our accounts and our clients' accounts into. So everybody logs in with their username, their password, and it's all real people, all real accounts engaging on each other's content throughout the day. So we have it totally automated, but 100% real people.
Wow. Do you have a background in coding? I mean, how did you build this software?
I have a lot of coder friends that have worked at places like Microsoft and Uber and Twilio and Gageo, some Silicon Valley companies. So they're the ones who've, actually set all this stuff up and know how to code and do all of the techie stuff. I'm not really into that myself.
You're more of the visionary?
Yeah, I just spend most of my time traveling, consulting, teaching, learning. Yeah. It's
very interesting because I find a lot of entrepreneurs, sometimes say, the reason I can't build this business is because I don't know how to do this. Mm-hmm. Nowadays you have to have a website. I don't know how to code. I don't know how to do that. But it sounds like it's not always what you don't know how to do, but make sure you find the right people. And you say a lot of your friends, like from Iowa when you were growing up?
Yeah, these were some friends that I grew up in Iowa with. Like maybe I was like their mentor or coach, like took them on like a church trip or something like that. And then like all of a sudden they became like this super like amazing coder or software engineer like Google or, Facebook. And then I just found a way to stay in touch.
So you kind of moved away, been traveling. And, I was recently, I can't remember where I read it, but it was talking about weak connections or loose ties, kind of how we meet somebody, randomly. And then, if you stay in touch with them, sometimes they can kind of influence you in different ways. So these aren't friends that you kept in touch with necessarily the whole time, but then you found out, you're building this Assistagram business, and then you reached out to them.
Not really. I mean, it's just like, I wasn't really like looking for something like that they could help me with. We just randomly like met up in like Thailand, and I was like, oh bro, like you're in Thailand, like we're in Phuket, like just at the hotel down the road, like we should meet up and get lunch. And it was something random like that, and it was just old friends catching up. And then we started to put our heads together and see how we could help each other and started up some businesses.
I like that.
But yeah, it was totally random.
That's super interesting. All right, so going back to Assistagram, how it works is using manual power and people, actual real people. What are some of the strategies you guys use? Like if someone is, obviously we can use Assistagram, but if someone wants to build their influence on social media and their brand, what should they be doing? Yeah,
the first thing is you want to make sure that you have an amazing profile picture, optimized bio. I'm going to teach you a really cool like SEO trick that everyone can start applying and using on their own Instagram accounts today. And so we all have like a handle name, right? So maybe it's like your name, or if maybe you're like really into fitness and it's called like, the fitness list, or like you're into travel, it could be like the travelers list, or these different names. You're just reposting content from other people onto your page just to simply inspire them to travel and explore the world, right? So it's not technically your content. So with that being said, you have the handle name. So if my handle name's like the travelers list, in the name section, a lot of people just put their handle name as their name, right? But you can actually rank up to like 3 different keywords. So think of it as like Instagram SEO. So whether like you're a mindset coach, like maybe you could be like a mindset coach, like you want to rank for like mindset, success, entrepreneurship, you can put that in the name section. And when people search for those different keywords, you can actually pop up on like the first or second page search results, which is going to drive a ton more traffic, exposure, and leads and sales for you. So
that's an awesome tip.
Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting. Talking with you, I kind of seen stuff like that. Never really understood it, but that makes perfect sense. It's like if you want to rank high on a Google search page, use these keywords, and now with Instagram, you can do that too. Yeah,
it's going to take you forever to do that on Google now, and a lot of money. But on Instagram, this could be like an instant thing. So.
Wow. And so that doesn't actually change your handle. It's just the name, what it appears as.
Exactly. Because it's like, okay, if my name's like Zach Benson, like, I mean, people are already searching for that anyway, right? And then it pops up. But I want to like make sure that people can know like what my page is about.
Yeah.
So if I just say Zach Benson, they're like, okay, that's cool. Like, he's traveling, doing this stuff, but I could put different keywords so that they could know like what I'm about and what my message is. And I don't have a personal Instagram account, by the way, and people are like, why don't you have your own personal Instagram account? Like, I just wanted to focus on building other people's brands up and helping them do more of what they love. But then also I have another like travel academy where I teach people how to travel the world for free without their own personal Instagram account, without saving up miles and points, because I hate that stuff, and without a big network. So I basically teach people how to travel for free with their own repost travel account, where, like I said, you're reposting other people's epic content onto your page. Now, why? Because people don't have the time and the money to travel. People don't know how to take photos and do videos, and that stuff is expensive. And they don't know how to grow like on Instagram. So I teach them all of that stuff inside my academy, and how I got over 300 nights for free without my own personal Instagram account. So that's why. So I wanted to like simply walk the talk.
My mind is blown. Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about building an Assistagram, your own Instagram account. You did it without a personal, so you created like the travel list. Or
the travelers list, Tribe Influencers, the academy name, all these different.
Those are your actual names.
Yeah, I have like 50 accounts, but yeah.
And so, okay, let's dive into that just for a second.
Yeah, okay.
What is one thing that you're doing? Okay, we talked about reposting other people's information. Do you give credit to these people when you repost? Okay, yeah. Just want to make sure people understand that. Yeah, so you give them credit, and you're building this following. How are you translating that into 300 free nights?
Yeah, it's amazing. This all started like 2 years ago, where I saw like other people and friends doing it, and I was like, I asked them like, hey, how do you do that? I mean, no response, just because, no value exchange, right? So I had to figure all this stuff out myself. Just like I did with dance, and started randomly cold emailing all these hotels and eventually figuring out what to say and not to say. But yeah, I mean, that's how I travel for free, is with all of these repost feature travel accounts that I own. And I give the hotels exposure, do some posts, Instagram stories, promoting their hotel and my experience. If it's a good experience, I do reviews. And then I figure out some other ways to help them with their Instagram.
So how many followers do you have on these other accounts?
We have a total network of, like, just in travel, of 30 million, right? So we have like...
Between all of your accounts?
Yeah, between all of my accounts. Now, I don't own all of these accounts. Some of these are people in my network, in the Tribe Influencer network, but we work together and we help each other out. So yeah, and then on my other softwares, like, we have over 10,000 accounts in that, so that's a 200 million reach on Instagram.
Wow.
But collectively.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Impressive. Okay, so what's one of the things that you do to create the followings that you've had with these travel accounts? I mean, if I wanted to tomorrow start the travel lists by Corey, and I start reposting, how many times a day should I be posting? Should I be using all 30 hashtags? What should I be doing?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, I'm super excited to like roll out this stuff, because it's just gonna help you do all of that, from like hashtags to finding viral content to engagement groups. Like, it's all gonna be there, and then just people have to pay, and then they can do this by themselves. But now it's a little bit more complicated. So what people have to do is, like, they have to figure out, like, and search for content that they think has viral potential. Like, oh, like, that's a really crazy, epic, cool video. Like, that video has a chance to go viral. And maybe you see only like 1 or 2 other people like post it. We can take that piece of content, curate content, repost it on our page, and then basically we have, all of these high quality, really big accounts in the travel niche giving likes onto that that post, and like a certain window of time, like between 15 minutes and an hour is the ideal time that you want to receive engagement. And that if you have viral content and the engagement groups, that can get you thousands of followers just from one post. Like if that post hits 1 million views, 2 million views, like you could gain a few thousand followers just from that.
Wow. What are engagement groups?
Yeah, think of engagement groups. So you might have heard of like comment pods or engagement groups, like DM groups. Like direct message group is basically on the Instagram platform. So like in the DMs, your inbox on Instagram, basically you can create these groups of 15 different people per group. And so you want to find people that are in the same niche as you. So whether like your podcast, or maybe it's like other podcasters or other people that are entrepreneurs, and you basically like and comment on each other's posts throughout the day. Now, what a lot of people don't know is like, they think, okay, well, if I have 1,000 followers and all my friends have like 2,000, 5,000 followers, it's going to make a big difference. No, like you need to get into these really high level engagement groups to actually make a difference and to grow your following. So by high level, that's what I mean. It's like, accounts with 100,000 followers to 1 million. And you need to be in like 50,
wow.
50 in groups, which is going to require a lot of like time.
And that's kind of what Assistagram assists you with, right?
Yeah, so doing all that stuff that you don't want to do because you want to actually be living life and doing what you love. All right, nobody wants to just be at home or like out and about, like hanging out with their friends or doing like these manual actions, right? They want to be focusing on their priorities so that they can, improve their business scale and, just enjoy life.
Brings up a good point. Like social media has become so much a part of our entire life. People spend over an hour on social media a day, typically, on average. And it's wild, but at the same time, it's become such a business platform. People build brands, travel the world, do all this stuff. Why is, for somebody who says, I don't want social media, why is it important to actually have a social media presence in business?
I mean, you can be a consumer, like you can wake up and as soon as you open your eyes, just scroll and consume, or you can be a creator, right? So now's the time to actually be ahead of the game and not left behind. So you want to start pumping out and creating your own content, getting your message, your brand out there to the world, because I mean, that's what it takes nowadays to actually build and really grow and blow up your business. Because if people see you here or there, see you on Instagram, see you putting out content that has real value, like that's gonna build trust. They're gonna share that with their friends, and it's just gonna get you more clients.
I just read about Instagram because the founders of Instagram ended up leaving.
Yeah. And
they were talking about, I think they were like 30 or 50 million. I can't remember the exact number. In 2013, and actually in 2014, I started using Instagram. And I remember I built up like a fitness following of 500 in a matter of 60 days or something, which at the time for me was a lot because none of them were my actual friends. I hated social media. I was so against it. But now, as of June 2018, that's when they have over 1 billion active users. It's like, the reach that you can have on social media is so big that if you are trying to do anything in business or influence or motivation of people, you need to be on there because this is where everybody is consuming information.
Yes.
And so it's a switch of becoming a creator if you want to actually make an impact.
Exactly. The attention shift from Facebook to Instagram is moving faster than ever before. With all the Facebook privacy, Cambridge Analytica stuff, people's accounts getting hacked, right? They're jumping on Instagram. So yeah, I mean, if you're not on Instagram, like now's the time to actually get ahead, like on it, so that you're ahead of the game, not left behind. Over 48.8% brands are on Instagram. Over 500,000 advertisers use it to grow their business. So
I have a question. You keep saying get on it before it's too late.
Because everybody's like too late. It's
right.
Never too late, but
exactly.
It's going to be.
Some people say it's already too late.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, you still need to like get into it like right now, because you can still like learn how to grow your account and really build up your brand.
Are you taking people right now who really have no following and helping them create a following and create an influence on Instagram that actually influences their business and revenue?
Yes. I mean, because it's all about like growing their audience, their following, their tribe. and converting those people into actual like real clients and sales. Like those two things are what matters most to people. So first is building up your street cred, your social proof. Like when people find you on Instagram, like, okay, that person's legit. He's pumping out great value, his content's dope. Like I'm gonna follow him. And then it's you being persistent, consistent with your content, and lead magnets and different offers that you occasionally throw out to your fans that converts them to actual like sales and customers. But
totally.
Yeah, it takes time, right? It's usually like 5 to 8 exposures before somebody buys something really high ticket. So that's why Instagram is a really cool lead generator for like organic traffic wise. You don't have to spend a lot of money like on ads to get customers. You can simply just build a tribe, funnel them in with like a lead magnet that you can put in your bio, like maybe it's a link to your Forbes article. They read that, builds up more trust and credibility. You have a freebie guide inside that Forbes article, which takes them to the chatbot, which then they give you your email. You build up your email list, you build up your chatbot subscribers, and then you have another free upsell. Like, hey, if you're really serious about learning how to travel for free and growing your Instagram, do you want inside my private Facebook group for free? One-time offer, yes or no? I get about 40 people a day like saying yes, I want in, just from one of my travel accounts, and then they buy the Travel Academy.
So hearing what you just did, those steps that you took, I hear add value, give free content, add more value, give more free content, and then finally it's like the Gary V, you know, jab, jab, hook, right? So it's like you want to be able to give, and then ask for people to basically buy a product. And do you find that, I mean, some people might be like, well, how am I going to know? That's such a long funnel. It sounds like you're getting tons of traction. Do you find that to be more successful than somebody who's like, yeah, sign up for my email list, and then they immediately send them an email to pitch, like, buy my $100 course?
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather like create, you know, like a relationship, like a friendship with these people. Like, okay, like Zach's cool, and he hangs out with this guy, that person. Like, these are like really like credible, like cool people that are like really care about helping people. So I want to do it in like a more genuine way, and create like a slow friendship with them and build their trust that way, than trying to just get a quick sale and not having them know anything about me. So yeah. A lot of these people that join, like they end up being good friends as well. Like,
it's cool. I know the first time we talked, we just connected on a lot of different things, yes. Which was fun.
Yeah.
You know, I really appreciate that attitude and perspective, because I think a lot of people sometimes they're so worried about themselves, and as opposed to trying to truly help other people. And I know that sounds kind of cheesy in a way, but as much as I want to help myself, I get more joy of helping others. And I learned this the hard way, right? Like, you know, I accomplished a lot as an individual without helping anybody, and it was very unfulfilling. And you can only sometimes realize that once you do it. And that's why for the last several years of my life, I've been dedicated to helping other people. And the reason I bring that up is I'm just curious, like, what motivated you in the beginning to start all this?
Just my friends. I mean, I just saw them like living life, doing what they love. And I was like, okay, I mean, if they're doing it, like, I mean, I can do it too. Like, I wanted to figure out a way that I could dance and travel and see the world, experience other people's cultures, learn from them. And then the same thing, I was like, it would be cool if like I could travel around the world, like stay at these really nice hotels, meet all the people that stay at these really amazing hotels that cost $3,000 a night, and learn from them, right? So I was just really hungry for like growth. Like, and I always felt like I could learn anything from anybody. It doesn't matter if they're a super rich person staying at a $3,000, $5,000 a night hotel, or if it's a local person that I meet in one of these countries, just that are like my taxi drivers or people on the street. Like, I always try to see people as people, and you know, that they can always teach me something. So I think that motivated me. Is just the world was beautiful. I got to explore it. I got to figure out a way to truly do what I love. And it just kept on working. And yeah, of course, a lot of up and downs, but.
Yeah, man. And this started just for you like a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
That's
like,
pretty.
For dancing, yeah, the dancing thing, I've been doing it full time, traveling all over the world for since like 2012, 13. But the Instagram side of things, Instagram consulting, marketing, really blew up, took off like a couple years ago.
I look at that and, people who are kind of sitting here and in the mindset where it's like, man, could I really do that? How did you have the confidence to be approaching these people randomly to kind of say, this is what I'm going to do and support myself doing this?
So, I mean, like I said, I grew up in Iowa. I struggled a lot, like, in school because one, I looked different, two, I spoke different. Couldn't say the letter R until I was in my 20s. And my speech therapist, I remember telling me, like, oh, if you quit my classes, Zach, no one will be able to understand you. You probably won't amount to much, and you'll never be able to say the letter R in your whole life. And I was like 8 when I heard this, and just crushed me. So I was like a really shy kid growing up. I didn't have a lot of friends, but dance became my platform and it kind of built my confidence. But still, I didn't like talking to people because I thought that they would make fun of me, which they did, until I was in my 20s. So I never thought I was gonna be able to do this. But once I got that confidence, once that person was like, okay, Zach, what you have to say matters. Like, don't be afraid of voicing your opinion. Like, it gave me that voice, gave me that confidence to be like, okay, so what, who cares, like, what people think. I'm just gonna speak, I'm just gonna dance, I'm just gonna do what I love. So after that, then I was just like, okay, you know what, I don't care. I don't care of failing. I don't care of like just reaching out to people. I don't care getting rejected. I mean, I don't care. So it's just like, I think with that attitude, but also not like, okay, if they say no, like, okay, done, like I'm never gonna talk to you again. But being like, okay, well, maybe now it's not the right timing. Let's stay in touch. I'm here if you need me. So also maintaining a good positive mindset and attitude, but not being afraid of looking bad and of rejection.
That sounds really rough at 8 years old to be told that. I don't know what that
I was like,
speech therapist.
Dang.
Yeah, that's a rough thing to say to anybody, let alone an 8-year-old. And you said that it was finally somebody kind of came to you and said that you do have the confidence, you have the skill set, like, please speak. And how long did it take for you to finally feel that inside?
Yeah, I mean, I was like 22.
Wow.
So I was just like in college, like junior year or something. I don't know, I was 20 something. But yeah, and then I had to learn how to speak because I was saying all these dumb things and people
So
were like,
still struggling with this speech until you were about 22.
Yeah, and then I had to like actually learn how to like talk to people because I was super shy, introvert. I didn't know how to like, network. I didn't know how to like randomly like stand up and speak somewhere. Like I had to start from zero.
Well, man, congratulations, because you're literally traveling all over the world, speaking to different places and companies. Sure. I mean, what a testament to persistence and perseverance and just your dedication. I really appreciate that. And for other people out there who maybe they haven't found their voice right now, what's a piece of advice you could give them?
I mean, just like simply looking inside yourself, like figure out like it's self-knowledge, knowing like what you need before a big talk. Like you can eat this or you can't eat that. It's like knowing like what makes you happy, knowing like what you need to be happy and content. And also just a lot of like self-reflection, like inside work of journaling, of getting outside feedback from friends, employees, other mentors, teacher, your own family, like having them expose your different blind spots. Like, hey, you're good at this, you're not good at that. You're really good at this. Well, why don't you like pursue this and read more books about it and find other online mentors that are doing it. And I think through those different experiences, you can be closer to finding your voice and like what truly matters to you in life. Yeah,
and you mentioned mentors. Something we haven't talked about on this podcast for a little while, but everyone who I know that's been successful has somebody mentoring them. And I'm just curious what you think about the importance of mentorship.
Yeah, it shaves a ton of time off your learning curve, because if you can just simply like ask them like, hey, how to do this, or like when you're in this situation, what did you do? And I mean, simply by their answers, you can shave tons of time off your learning curve. You don't have to you don't have to fall flat on your face. You don't have to fail. You don't have to be going like this, like roller coaster up and down. You can just simply get to where you want to go a lot faster.
Absolutely. That's why I like I loved reading books from people who had spent 30, 40 years studying one area, because in a matter of 6 to 10 hours, I can compress all that knowledge and ideally avoid making their same mistakes. And so I strongly believe in finding a mentor, somebody to help kind of pull you out of your friend group, pull you out of your daily routines, and show you different things that help them become successful. And talking about too, just going back to what you were talking about with rejection, I find that in any success, in any business, and entrepreneurs specifically, that rejection is very, very common. And some people handle rejection, well, they just brush it off. And other people handle rejection poorly, unfortunately, and where they really take it to heart. And sometimes that can be a good thing. Sometimes it could be a bad thing. How do you handle rejection, and what kind of advice can you give us? Yeah,
I mean, of course it feels bad, because it's like something that you really want, right? You really want to do it. So anytime that you hear something no, it's like, oh man, it's like it lets you down. But I learned that it was just like, it's all about timing, right? So even if they say no, even if they reject you now, doesn't mean forever. Like, that's why I always tell people, like, find a creative way to stay in touch, like, still be like super nice and friendly to that person, like add value. Just work on building a friendship with that person if it really matters to you. And then, maybe a year later, 2 years, who knows, like they're like, all right, you came up in conversation, and I was like, okay, now's the time, like let's do business, let's work together. So knowing that it's about timing, and knowing that it's not always, the good fit for different reasons, just it gives me that freedom, like, okay, let's just move on to the next, but don't burn that bridge.
So, I mean, obviously, failure is sometimes seen as kind of an end point. And for you, it sounds like it's just like, maybe it's not good right now, but maybe later in time.
Yeah, because you never know what someone's going through. That person could be like, they've been burned and passed through like many different reasons. That's why they didn't hire you, or it's because they just got a new job promotion and they aren't like, they're crazy busy, or they just got engaged, or they have a new baby, or like whatever. Yeah. You don't really know, and some people don't share that information. So I'm like always keeping it cool and like chill.
I like that, man. You're very, very chill. I love it. It's amazing how you manage businesses, flying and talking and dancing and course academies, and you seem very, very relaxed. I'm curious, was this always your vision of success, and how do you define success?
Yeah, I mean, I have tons of more things to like learn, and I'm ready for all the growth. I'm excited. I'm ready for it, right? But still a long ways to go, for sure. But I guess like success to me was just being able to do what I want, when I want, and exactly how I want. But still taking care of the people I love and I care about most. So to me, it's just putting family, friends, like people that have really like impacted my life in a bunch of positive ways, putting them first, and always trying to be there for people that I love and I care about. But I guess that's success for me, is just simply helping more people do what they love every single moment of the day, whether it's like you're a videographer or like blogger or like, business person. It doesn't matter. It's just like we all have these amazing dreams and things that we want to do. And if it helped them do that, that's success.
That's awesome. I mean, your company, Assistagram, is definitely helping other people get more and more reach. And, one of the biggest things about Unleash Success that I really, really push is taking more action in life. And I talk about the 80-20 rule, where 80% of our results roughly come from 20% of actions. The key is just knowing which actions to take. And so for you in business and in building an Instagram as far as an influence with over 200 million in your collective community reach, what are some top actions we can take today to really improve our Instagram accounts?
Yeah, so we talked about optimizing your bio, and then we talked about DM groups. The other thing is just to create epic content. It's like good at content as you can. It doesn't have to be like perfect. It's better to just get it done and get it out there and being consistent with it. So that's why you asked like, oh, how many posts a day? I suggest at least one a day. right? Master the mundane. If you can do that and you're consistent with that very well, up it up to 2 to 4 a day, right? And really research what other influencers in your niche are using, like the hashtags, what type of content they're posting, what they're doing on Instagram stories, what they're saying on Instagram lives, and you just simply model success. So if you can get into, if you have a pretty awesome optimized bio, great profile picture, you get into some engagement groups, you're consistent with your content, utilizing all the different features that Instagram is rolling out, from Instagram TV to stories, lives, and being consistent with that stuff, you're gonna start to grow organically a lot faster. These days it's really hard to grow truly organically, but if you do those things and you're consistent with them, you should be able to grow pretty well.
I want to ask some like random questions that I always kind of see where people are like, oh, you should do this or you should do that. Should you do 30 hashtags?
Yeah, we use between like 20 to 25 hashtags, because Instagram is always like changing their algorithms and changing the rules of what you can do and can't do. And a lot of people don't know about this. There's a lot of misinformation on Instagram. So hashtags are super important. Like you want to keep them like as relevant to your niche as possible. And you want to research them and use hashtags that don't have a ton, like millions and millions of posts in them. Because when you're using like hashtags, very generic ones, like, you know, that have like tens and 20 millions of posts.
Hashtag love.
Yeah, hashtag love, right? It's like
50 million or something, I don't know.
Your post will never be seen because the amount of engagement that you have to in order to hit the top post in that hashtag love is insane. So it's all about timing and how much engagement that you receive there. So instead, it's better that you research and use hashtags that have a smaller number of posts in them, anywhere from 10 to 20,000, 20 to 50, 50 to 100,000, and then some bigger ones as well. And you want to be rotating different hashtag sets throughout the week.
We talked a little bit about this previously, but we had mentioned that if you use hashtags too frequently, or you try to grab hashtags that, you know, are kind of all over just trying to grab followers, like the follow for follow, like for like, you can get what's called shadow ban. Can you explain that? Yeah,
shadow banning basically means like you're using too many hashtags. So like before, like you could do like 60 hashtags, now it's like 30 hashtags. There's different tricks and things that you could use to use more hashtags. But what's happening to people is because they're using like hashtags like outside of their niche, just trying to like really try hard to get followers. Instagram is shadow banning them because they're using the wrong hashtags. They're not rotating them throughout the weeks. It's using too many, and then they're using all of these bots, like these apps that basically do the follow, unfollow. And now follow, unfollow can be a good strategy to get really good targeted followers, but what a lot of these bots that got shut down did wrong is that they're abusing the limits of Instagram's daily limits. And if you guys don't know and like really do your research of what you can and can't do on Instagram, like you're just gonna get shut down too, which means shadow banning. So you're not gonna show up for different keywords and hashtags that you use. Your stuff's not gonna get seen and you're not gonna grow.
So all that hard work you're putting in is not even doing anything.
Exactly. So, but yes, follow, unfollow is good, but not anything that you do to the super extremes and you abuse it.
So what are like, I mean, some of these limits? I mean, should we be knowing?
I mean, so let me first talk about like, oh man, like all the things that can mess up your account. So there's a lot of misinformation out there. And I can send people some guides too if they want to really dive down like deep into this stuff. But
if you have some free guides, we'd love to put a link in the show notes for sure.
I can do that. So a lot of people, they change their name of their Instagram account. If you change your name too many times, Instagram docks you some points. If you change your profile picture too many times, down. If you change the link and you're using like these bit.ly links inside of your Instagram account, like Instagram docks you some points. It could be like a ton of things. Like it could be following people outside of your niche, like following a bunch of random people.
I use bit.ly for the podcast links.
It could be like randomly liking and commenting on other people. Like,
random liking and commenting.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, all of these bots, sometimes they have an option where you randomly like on other people's stuff. And if they're outside of your niche, like they can kind of downgrade and hurt your goodness score of your account.
Is that what they call it? Goodness score?
That's what we call it.
Okay.
It's like your health score, but it's something that no one really knows about unless you've been in the game and really done your research and a lot of testing that you can know about this stuff.
So those are some great mistakes to avoid.
Yeah.
And I'm actually like thinking about my Bitly link. What about like Linktree? I see a lot of people using Linktree.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of send all that stuff, but yeah, there's different things that you can use, like different URLs that you can use and you can't use. But yeah, that's better than Bitly.
Linktree is better than Bitly. Okay. I mean, I'm just thinking about like free services, and I know it's different ones. Any other mistakes? I mean, those were like great info, but
yeah, but there's like hundreds of things that people do. But to grow truly organically is really hard and slow these days. So it is okay to occasionally do some of these things, like as long as they're like you're not abusing and getting blocked from trying to follow too many people. And Instagram says, hey, you can't follow many people. You've exceeded your limit for today.
What's the limit?
I mean, it kind of depends. Like those are like all numbers in the guides. I don't even know like off the top of my head. But it's like we have like all of these numbers that we've researched, and then all of that stuff is in the guide.
And you try and stay below that
and
number.
We stay below. Like we know like when we're doing the follow unfollow, like we can have like we need at least like a buffer of like 3,000 people that people are following, and then we can like whitelist some people so that, you know, as long as it's under 3,000, we don't unfollow your friends and people that you want to.
Gotcha.
But we need that like 3,000 buffer to like at least keep growing your account.
Right.
But yeah, it's all about the art and science of Instagram, the numbers, they matter.
It's crazy that it's like an Uber rating, you know, you like 4.7 stars or 4.8, and that actually influences your engagement.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a time and place for everything. It's not like you just go on like a 90-day sprint and like, you know, eat super clean and healthy and only eat like vegetables and like lean proteins like all year round. Or if you do keto diet and you do it the whole year or 2 years like straight, I mean, some of that stuff isn't healthy, but when you do it in certain different time periods or for a certain amount of time so that you don't get burned out, I mean, you can see a lot of results.
Right.
It's like anything in life.
Yeah, and you know, one thing we were talking about with somebody the other day was just, do you put the hashtags in the comment or do you put them in the actual caption?
We do both. You can put...
Does it matter?
Yeah, you can even put some hashtags and stuff like highlights, like different like things that you do, like maybe it's like travel, it's like fashion, you have different videos, kind of like Instagram story stuff. But yeah, like the hashtag question, we sometimes we don't always put it in the caption just because it can mess up the description. So people can be like, that is too cluttered and I don't read it and I don't know what you're trying to say. So we do put a lot of hashtags in the first comment, but we do both, and we're constantly testing of like what works and what works best for the.
What about that new thing that Instagram finally introduced, where you can put hashtags and tag people in your bio? Does that affect your engagement or SEO for Instagram?
I mean, no. I mean, that's always nice if you put that, because it's just like another new feature that they rolled out. So anytime that you can shout out another people like and tag them in your story or your highlights is cool. But it's just another way that you can give people more content and kind of a behind the scenes look on your life.
Yeah. Is there something new coming up with Instagram that we should kind of be trying out and engaging with?
Instagram is like constantly rolling out new features. I think the big one now is like IGTV. So it's just more like long format videos that you can do. So I think that's a pretty cool thing that people can start using if you want to post longer videos. But really it's like there's always going to be new things coming. It's just try to master the basics first.
Right, yeah. Absolutely. I appreciate that.
You can get overwhelmed with all the new features and things that you can do on Instagram. It's better just to stick with a few that really work and kill it and be consistent with it.
Totally. And so I'm looking at like we've talked about a lot of different actions, but what's like one of the biggest things we can do to get that really big result if you're in business for yourself?
Yeah, on Instagram is just like, there's so many accounts. Like I tell people, if you really want to growth hack it, buy an account.
Buy an account?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
You can actually buy an Instagram account, like whether like you're super into like fitness or fashion or makeup or sports, or if you're a foodie and you want a food page, you can buy all of these repost accounts on Instagram and become an instant Instagram influencer overnight.
What's an average price and how many followers are you getting?
Yeah, I mean, man, some of those accounts, they go for, a couple thousands of dollars to several $100,000 to $1 million. Right?
Wow.
Some of these huge accounts, they're like making crazy money because they're doing a bunch of affiliate marketing. They came out with their own products and their branding, and they're just killing it. Like influencer marketing is like going to be a like $1 trillion industry. Like who like Cristiano, like he made like $1 billion or something. Like I think just from doing sponsored posts last year, 1 billion. I think 1 billion, something crazy.
Okay. I actually heard Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, who I love him, follow him on Instagram. He's got such a huge following that instead of promoting his own movies, he's going to be charging them a 7-figure or $1 million at least to be able to promote the movie, because he's realizing how much his own community, his own followers engage and then actually respond to that.
Exactly. So The Rock's killing it. Like his shoes is with like what, X Armor, they sell out.
Under Armour,
Under Armour. They sell out in like a day. It's crazy. And then, you need to buy an account, because then you can network with all these other influencers. And because you have a huge following, you can simply ask them to promote your product.
So how do you know if you buy an account that these followers are even legit?
So I think most of the followers are like, some of these people, like they didn't know how to grow the accounts the best way. So you might have some ghost accounts or some fake followers on there, but the majority are. And if you really do your research and you can figure out like, hey, like this is a legit account that's growing organically with viral content and has pretty good engagement, then you want to buy it. And you can either leverage it to get free travel like I do. You can use it to collaborate and network with other celebs and do product placement on their pages, which is going to create a ton of sales for you. Or you can actually change it over. You could change the name of the account, archive all the content, rebrand it to your personal brand.
Oh, wow.
And boom, like you're an influencer.
I've seen a few travel accounts switch over to a personal account, and they change basically their travel brand to their personal brand. I've seen that happen a few times. And something you said, I think would be awesome if we could just kind of to close out the interview, but taking Instagram as, from a business perspective and looking at what are some of the best ways. You mentioned influencer marketing, if they repost your product, but what are some of the best ways to use your Instagram profile to drive sales?
I mean, that's the best way, is like having like a simple like lead magnet, call to action, like not trying to just be super desperate, like doing it every single day, like, hey, buy this product, click on my link in my bio. But occasionally having a really great call to action, a good like content with like a call to action on it, like, hey, click the link in the bio for this coupon code, $15 off your first purchase. And yeah, I mean, it's really thinking like when you're trying to acquire these customers, not to like really like make money, a ton of money the first time, but create a really amazing offer and a deal for them to get them in the door, and then providing them with awesome customer service, making them feel special, and then making them fall in love with your product so that they can post about it. It creates user-generated content that you can use on your own Instagram account, and you can start paying like an army, creating like an army of like micro-influencers that have just several thousand followers to 20,000, 50,000 followers, and having like 400, 500 of them post and promote your product. Like, you're gonna make a crazy amount of sales.
I really love what you just said there. And for me, especially too, and I mean, I've interviewed people who have anywhere from 10,000 to several million followers on Instagram, which is pretty powerful. And just being able to connect with them and get their community, but reaching out to those people so that you can grow your own brand. And then that, by adding value I don't know how often you would say, like every couple of weeks, every month or something, whatever your audience permits you to be able to basically ask them, hey, I've got this awesome course that I'd love to teach you guys. If you're interested, this is how much it costs. And
I do it all on like Instagram Live.
Oh, cool.
Because then I'm in like this super dope spot, like in the Maldives, chilling, like, hey, what's up, guys? Here's my room. I'm about to like slide down my pool, like my slide. I got my own pool. my own slide. Like, I want to talk to you guys quick about like what I'm doing, you know, with all these hotels and how I'm living this lifestyle. I'm going to teach you guys 3 things that you can start using now to start getting free travel.
Dude, I want those 3 things right now, man. I mean, come on, like how awesome is that? And you're not paying for this, you're getting other people to pay you to go out there to do this.
Yeah, getting them to pay me to go out there, create content. Once we create content, like amazing photos and videos, I give it to the hotel, give them the rights. I give them sponsored posts, I do these reviews, I teach them about Instagram. Whatever you have of value that you can offer to these hotels, think of something that can truly make their marketing and their hotel better. And if you do, you're gonna get free stays and free travel. But that's how I do it.
That's cool. What's the name of that course again?
Yeah, it's Tribe Influencer. So if you go to tribeinfluencer.life, type that in. You can still get in right now. And yeah, it's basically I'm taking people by the hand from not knowing and understanding how to do this to completely helping them get their first free hotel, like guaranteed. Like I'm gonna help them one-on-one until they make this happen.
How many followers roughly do you need to be able to get that kind of traction?
So people don't really need a ton of followers because once they buy the course, they have access to my network of 30 million.
Wow.
So you get a huge network. Even if you don't have a huge page, you can leverage our network to get free stays. You use your own skills, whether it's photography or videography, or even not, hire a local one there for like $50 for an hour, right? Some of the locals there don't charge a lot, and have them create the content for you, boom, post it up on our pages, free stay.
Wow, that's awesome.
And you can enjoy your vacation without trying to edit all of the stuff. Yeah.
I love it. I love the hacks. I love the automation, all this success you've had. Zach, where can everybody find you online and your Assistagram website?
Yeah, so the Tribe at Tribe Influencer is the Instagram account for the academy, tribeinfluencer.life. And then, yeah, if you guys go to assistagram.us, you can send me a message there and email me. I'd love to chat and hear your story and hopefully do some business.
Awesome. I'm really impressed with all the success you've had so far, everything you've overcome from young kid to taking dance across the world to speaking at events and helping influencers grow their brand. But I always believe there's a next level of success. And so for you, what is that next level?
Next level is just, simply like rolling out like all these softwares, like the SaaS software model, like that's like truly scalable. The agency is going well. I just continue to blow that up. But I think really here that's where you can really make things happen. And then, yeah, like using that money to invest in other people that are doing amazing things. Like I'd love to come on as like advisor, like help start something new. So I want to start like diversifying into other stuff.
That is the entrepreneur spirit at its core. Zach, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Awesome, man. Thank you.
If you guys enjoyed the show and learned something of value, the one ask that we have is please go subscribe.